Come with us on an adventure spanning several continents and a dozen different cultures. It is both a physical journey and a metaphysical voyage of discovery as we seek out the wisdom keepers, the wise ones, the elders, and ask them, where did we come from, we humans? And where are we going? What is our destiny?
I'm standing in a cave, an enormous cave, very close to the southern tip of Africa. Gazing out at the sunset, I can see beautiful surf rolling in, and the archaeologists say that this place has been inhabited for at least 60,000, if not 120,000 years. Now that's a long time. The people who lived here, Bushmen-like people, early Africans, the earliest Africans, the first people of Africa who lived on these beaches, living off the clams, the oysters, the crabs, the fish that washed up, whatever they could catch. This is an absolutely beautiful spot. It doesn't get much better. And we're here to contemplate humanity. What does it mean to be human? Where did we come from? What are the earliest origins of our species? Did we really descend from apes? Or did we descend from the stars? There's quite a few thoughts on that subject. Adam and Eve being one of them. We're looking at all of those options. How did we come to where we are? And from that, the great question, where are we going? Where are we headed? Do we have a destiny? It has been said that humanity is about to undergo a major transformation, a major paradigm shift, or a quantum leap in consciousness. And looking around and reading the news, I think that's a very good idea.
You don't get a future automatically because most species are extinct. And our species certainly seems to be approaching extinction.
You're saying that we are not monkeys, they're not going to become monkeys, or we are not coming from the monkeys?
They say we started from Adam and Eve.
He said all of us human beings, we come from the stars.
It was explained to me that the star people came down here and we were seeded.
Where we are going, all of us, is to a great awakening. When your body moves, your spirit flies, and then you're free, and then the magic comes back to you.
We drive 800 miles due north to the Kalahari Desert, a remote and beautiful part of southwestern Africa, in search of the elusive San Bushmen, the world's oldest people. What will they have to say about the origins of our species? A few hundred miles into our journey, we stop to investigate a spectacular rock formation containing a series of huge caves, spacious enough to house hundreds of people. The Bushmen have many origin stories. One of them describes this most unusual cave. Could this be the place where our ancestors emerged into the world? Continuing our search, the first clue we find is the rock art. the extraordinary, sophisticated heritage handed down to us by the first people of Africa.
What are we looking at here? We're looking at human activity dating back tens of thousands of years.
These rock paintings can be found all over the African continent. The last living descendants of the original artists live in the Kalahari. I'm sitting in this cave looking out here at the most beautiful valley, a green valley, through which flows a river. And to that river in the old days would have come all of the wildlife that the people could possibly have needed. The surrounding bush provided all the vegetable materials they needed for existence. They had all the time in the world to paint these miraculous paintings. At the end of our fascinating drive through the arid African landscape, we arrive at dawn to find a series of tiny grass huts by the side of the road.
It's very beautiful here, and this is how it's been on planet Earth for centuries and centuries and centuries and millennia beyond count. What do we know about the Bushmen, the first people of Africa? What do we know about humans, humanity in the dawn of time?
You talk about the whole human beings. Well, that's another story, see. That's another thing. Because each tribe and each culture, each race has their own version of where they came from.
The Big Bang is very interesting science fiction. I think it's really one of the best science fiction novels. That's all I have to say about the Big Bang. You know, it's a very good story.
But it's not true.
Well, I don't know if it's true. You see, we don't know. It's fiction. There are a lot of things we don't know, and everybody agrees we don't know the future. But only a few people agree that we don't know the past. So that's my position. I am a Big Bang agnostic. It's not that I believe in something else, as for example, continuous creation. It's just that I can't say I believe in the Big Bang. And in answer to the question, where do we come from, I have to say, I don't know. It's really a marvelous mystery. It's because of this mystery that people invented concepts like God and all the gods and goddesses of all the religions in the whole of world cultural history. All are science fiction stories, or, as they're alternatively known, creation myths.
Were we really descended from ape men, from Australopithecines?
The most critical moment in the history of humanity occurred when a creature that had never before done so picked up a stone, chipped off a flake or two to form a cutting edge, used it as a tool, and made other tools according to the same pattern from the same material. That was the moment when a pre-human animal became a human animal, and the human revolution began.
Man may be excused for feeling some pride at having risen, though not through his own exertions, to the very summit of the organic scale. With all his noble qualities, he still bears in his bodily frame the indelible stamp of his lowly origin.
As far as the connection goes between Australopithecines and modern human beings, for example, the kinds of evidence that one uses to establish that are in fact fossil evidence. So we don't have genetic material going back that old. And what paleoanthropologists will tell you is that from the morphology of those particular beings, the Australopithecines that lived several million years ago, one can trace or set up a phylogeny. So one can actually see how human beings are descended from those beings by looking at the morphology of the bones, for example.
To me, the morphology of ankle bones, the morphology of jaw bones, doesn't explain how we could have gotten here from there.
Well, as far as I understand the origins of humanity and so on, what we've been taught is that all humans as we are today are genetically descended from a genetic population that was on the African continent at least 200 and 250,000 years ago. Traditionally, it used to be argued that all of the sort of advent of modern thinking, modern behavior, the making of art, culture and so on used to happen in Europe. But increasingly more and more dates from the African continent suggests that art, image making, religion, things that we understand to be modern human behavior actually all happened and developed within Africa and were then taken out to the rest of the world by the people from this continent. Many, many years ago, it used to be thought that the people who made this were just a kind of a simple hunter-gatherer who had no complex thought and so on. But increasingly what has come to light through archaeological and anthropological analysis is that these images were deeply meaningful, highly symbolic and deeply metaphoric for the people that made them.
Some Western scientists say we are descended from apes and monkeys. Would you ask her what is her opinion of that?
No, according to the belief we are hearing is that we are here again and again, visit after visit, just going from one world to another world. And in other words, all this story from the monkey, that we welcome the monkey, and this is maybe happened millions of millions years ago. But we are already humans, and to be a human means a visitor. Nosotros las personas somos visitantes aquí y regresamos al otro mundo y ya. Pero no nos vamos a convertir en changos, ¿verdad? No. So you're saying that we are not monkeys, they're not going to become monkeys, or we are not coming from the monkeys? ¿O nosotros venimos de los changos? No creo, ¿verdad?
No. Los changos están en otro mundo.
The monkeys, they live in another world.
Scientists, on the other hand, believe that man evolved from the monkey or the baboon or the ape. My question is, if we came from the ape itself, are we still being created in the form of the ape? If that is the answer, or that is the case, scientists want proof. I'm challenging them this morning. I want them to take a young ape, two young apes, the male and female, put them in a cage, observe them until they create an offspring. We want to see that if that offspring is going to be like a human being, the ape will ever remain an ape.
I don't believe in evolution per se in general as far as the origin of the species and all that is concerned. But I think within historical time we can see by reading the stories that the plots, the list of plots and the complexity of the plots available to us that can be engulfed in our consciousness, this is definitely evolving. From this evolution comes the one and only hope that we would actually have a future. See, because you don't get a future automatically because most species are extinct. And our species certainly seems to be approaching extinction.
There's a huge gap, a million-year gap or a 1.5 million-year gap in Darwinian evolutionary theory. Did we really descend from the ape or pre-human hominids? There's a huge question there. And I'm not sure how many people know this or how widely accepted this is scientifically, but biochemistry, the details of the molecular basis of life, categorically disprove Darwin. Certainly I did not expect that
in this investigation. I was merely asking indigenous elders where we came from, wondering whether we came from the stars or whether we are just a manifestation of the divine. Is there truth to the Adam and Eve creationism approach, which says we were created, here we are.
Cabanga ngaloko ngokuzwa ngoba mina ngingane yanamhlanje mangizwa ngoba bamkhulu babethi umuntu oqala kwako Adam noEva okuyena wayekhona emhlabeni angizi.
They say we started from Adam and Eve.
The truth is very clear, very simple. We all originate, all things, seen and unseen things, originate from this great power. I call it the great power.
And I believe that what is in existence now, which is human being and animal, was made out of nothing. And nothing means God, out of his own power, he created us. And today we are human beings because of that great universal power. Where we are here now. Adam no Eva.
Adam no Eva. Babe dabuga emhlabati.
From the earth, God made Adam and Eve.
Masizwa obabamkhulu besho bathi uNkulunkulu wadala umuntu ngomhlabathi.
God created mankind from the earth.
I believe, in fact, that we are divine beings, that we are made in the image of God, and that we are a vehicle of the divine. And so I don't know if that's more in alignment with the Bible, you know, the creation story, because I believe it is a thought of the divine. We are a thought of the divine. We are an aspect of the divine, as are the animals and the trees. Everything is an aspect of the divine.
You create your world by your thought. You create your own world. And once you speak it out here, and that's the way it's going to be. That's where it started. That's the way the world was created, with the thought. And the word came, and everything came into action.
So it was decided that there would be one more action upon the earth, and one Adam, or Emilius, and his counterpart Eve volunteered to be a prototype, to manifest simultaneously in 5 different places on the earth. In the Caucasus Mountains in Europe as the white race, in Africa as the black race, in Asia as the yellow race, in Lemuria as the brown race, and in...
Now, Adam and Eve, let me get this straight, Adam and Eve manifested simultaneously in 5 different places in the 5 different colors of humanity.
Yes, and then in Atlantis as the red race. Someone asked Edgar Casey what the Atlanteans looked like, and he said the Iroquois, who call themselves Haudenosaunee, are direct descendants of Atlantis. So they're the red peoples, the tall red peoples of the woodlands in the east, and who went out onto the plains. The brown peoples are the Hopi, the Yavapai. They say they came up from the south. The Diné, or Navajo, came down from the north, and their cousins, the Apache. But the Hopi came up from the south and were kin to the Mayans.
So they were Lemurian?
Lemurian
They were
descendants.
Lemurian, okay.
Yes.
Who are we? This human animal. Our body comes from the earth. Our body belongs to the earth. One day, the earth comes and takes our body. Our spirits come from the stars. It's a 3-day journey from the stars, my people say. The moment that we pray and sing and cut the umbilical cord, then the spirit enters the newborn baby. Before then, the mother spirit is taking care of the child.
Este es apenas el principio de un gran descubrimiento.
This seems like the beginning of a grand worldwide discovery. in which the indigenous people are participating with these versions, with our histories, which are called legends, something folkloric. But now we are given it a significance scientifically proven. This is the origin of current man. This is what we can say about the latest advances and discoveries that science has made of the arrival of the human being. We are talking about modern man, as we now exist. 4 colors of people that are distributed into 4 different places of the planet, and that each has had the opportunity to evolve for a period of approximately 12,000 years. And this way, each has had the opportunity to demonstrate their ability to create an environment and evolve within that environment. That has been how it has been up until now. We believe that we are an experiment of a superior intelligence that put us here, and that for us, 12,000 years is a very long time. In other dimensions, in other worlds, other universes, there is a way of seeing things in a different way, not like us.
As far as I know, every culture's got a creation myth. And according to the idea of Joseph Campbell, for example, the creation myth can be sorted out into a small number of piles according to their overall structure. And it's thought that this small number of archetypes for our story is because the archetypes are inherent in the structure of the human brain or in the structure of the society which maintains the story through storytelling around the fireside.
And those stories have survived, and I think that's what the elders are going to be doing, is to bring in those stories above ground, because they went underground for hundreds of years because of what was happening on the planet. Now they're willing to share it. And those stories, I think, will mean a lot for us because they have very simple teachings. We need to go back to harmonizing the mind and the heart.
We have many stories, as a matter of fact. We do have one story about our leader, Gluskabi. He was our teacher, and he was the first man on this island we call Turtle Island. He was made by the Creator, and he was given life. And he was sent here to teach us, but he was one with the Creator as well. And he was sent around the earth to gather information about the earth, all the secrets of the earth. And he left in a stone canoe with his dog, who was called Motham. And they circumnavigated the earth, learning all the secrets. Then they came back and they made man.
I've come to feel and believe that these people have something to teach all of us about what it means to be human, because they have kept the essence. They've had longer than any of us to find out what works and what doesn't work in human interaction. And you know, they're all about happiness. They're all about acceptance. They're all about just sweet, easy, gentle friendliness. And I really do believe that they have something to teach the rest of us, these beautiful little people of the Kalahari.
We are very happy to be here. We have come to consult with the elders. We have come to consult with the old people of the world, of the indigenous people of the world, with the Bushmen. We feel that you have an understanding that we, Western people, have forgotten. So the question, we have two questions. Where do we come from? humans, all people, where did we come from? Waar vandaan het al die mensen gekomen?
Nou ja, die honde en die katten en die leeuws, alles wat dieren nou is, ongediertes, was daar die was hulle mense gewees. Elke ding wat, as te spring kan, enige ding wat beweeg.
Ja, maar Gert, waar vandaan in die daar? Want mens en dieren was niet separaat nie.
Ja.
Wat van die daar?
Nou, mens en dieren, daar is baie natuurlijke dieren wat volgens mens zijn.
I think he's telling me that a very long time ago animals and people were the same. The first people, many of them were all humans, or we were all animals. The leeuw was een mens.
Was een mens.
The lion was a man.
Ja.
Die mantis, die
jakkals was ook een mens.
Die jakkals.
Alles, ja.
Alles was mensen.
Ja.
En die voeltjes was mensen.
Mensen.
Hoe komen ze nou dieren? Why are they now animals? What happened? That's a big change.
Nou, hierdie ding van 'n bushman, wat die fynste en die kleinste is, dwars deur die hele wêreld, is mos nie groot nie. Is maar 'n fyn dingetjie. Nou hy is 'n afstammeling van 'n muggie. Jy weet muggie?
A muggie?
Yeah.
He says the bushman is the finest of the finest. And the bushman being the finest, out of all the animals, the bushman is the, wat is afstammeling nou? He's the descendant of a muggie. What is a muggie?
Jy weet hy is
You know this little
jy weet mos 'n vloei wat jy weet 'n vloei wat by die honde
Like a flea.
Ja, klein. Ja.
Is the descendant of the tiniest. Yeah, a muggie. We look that up. Ek sal die Engelse woord kry.